Hello, and my name's Will. I've seen a lot of questions about people wanting to know how to extend their 12-volt battery from the back of the hybrid Forerunners. As you know, the battery sits in the back storage area. Most of our power connections we do underneath the hood for like D-link switches and auxiliary switches or winches and stuff like this. The solution I came up with allows you to not have to make multiple runs. You can do one sole run with 1/0 cable and make a distribution box. My background is about 27 years in the telecom industry, and before that 6 years in the military in telecom, working purely in a DC environment. I worked with stuff all the way up to 4/0 type cable, so I have a pretty extensive knowledge when it comes to DC in the DC world. There's going to be a few cautions that you guys need to pay attention to, because I've seen a lot of YouTubers giving you false information on how to do this. This is the safest way I know how to do it. So I'm going to jump into it real quick and show you what I did. So this is a distribution box that you probably saw me post. It's just a generic water type box that you can. I probably should have went a little bit bigger, but at the time I figured this was going to be adequate. It's just kind of tight. These are your two 1/0 feeds to the back battery. This is just you can use any type of wire loom or protection. It's to help protect the cable from vibration or wear or whatever. Not that there isn't enough on the cable, it just helps protect it a little bit better. So on this, I believe these are 3/8 what they call cable glands, and then there's a smaller one on the side that goes into my D-link. These are just plugged, they're not cut off cables sitting here. As you can see, they just go right through. I did it because it's easier to drill these while it's out. Eventually there's going to be a winch that'll connect into this at some point. If you follow it, these are, I believe, a 3/8 terminal. You can get this on the Amazon, and I'll post it, as well as the box, the glands, and anything else you'll need. This is 15 feet of 1/0, two sections, one black, one red. Be sure when you order this that you get pure copper. Do not get tinned or any other variants. It needs to be pure copper, just for amp load. Copper has a less resistant than the tin stuff. I don't know why you would use a 1/0. That's, I mean, I'm guessing for an amplifier that doesn't have a consistent amp draw like a winch or lights. The lights aren't going to cause a big issue as a winch would, because it's going to be your heavier amp draw. The other thing is going to be how far are you running, and the further, the bigger the cable needs to be. But I think 1/0 will be more than adequate for anything anybody would be wiring up on here. Follow this. It goes down in there and it follows the top of the frame rail all the way down. And what I did is I followed the frame rail. You can see it right there, because what it does is that protects you from any rocks or anything you want to protect the cable from getting hit or whatever. Comes up along here. This liner you'll have to pull out, and these little screws right here, they just unthread, and then when you push them, they just push right back on. And then you go back into these cable glands that you'll have to drill in through, and the battery sits right here. You can pay attention on the inside. You see these reinforcement bends and stuff to get a better idea. And what I did is I located those inside, and then what I did is I put a little bit, I used a smaller bit just so I could locate it inside the back. So then you have to, these just pop out. Let me put this down. They just come off, and then your battery's right here. Your cable glands, you can see right there, they come out. Your ground just follows up and then connects here. And then the power, and this is the critical one, because from your positive to the top of this fuse is completely unprotected. Now, I ordered some more cable just because I don't feel safe with this bend that's right here. And if you look close, you see what we call a shiner. It's under a little bit of stress. I would rather have it up and going straight in, so there's no stress and worry about it popping out, because if that cable pops out and goes to ground, your vehicle's going on fire, because there's nothing to fuse it from that point. So better safe than sorry, is what I said. So what I was getting back at, what I said, you need to run two. So this is the run to the front. This is your frame ground that exists now. it's probably about a 4 gauge versus a 1/0. These positive and negatives have to match, and this is matched for what is currently coming in on this vehicle for anything that was built by Toyota. You're fixing to add 150 amp winch draw on here. This 4/0 cannot handle that with anything on top of that, plus the vehicle itself. I've seen a lot of YouTubers just suffice with running their power wire to the front to their winch and grounding their winch back to the frame. Most winch manufacturers tell you to take it back to the battery, and the reason is because of this. This is not adequate for any type of return on a 1/0 type cable. This is a 300 amp fuse, should be more sufficient, and just so you're aware, that fuse is only fusing this 1/0 cable. It will not fuse anything that you add to this distribution. So I have a Diode Dynamics D switch installed. I think it has the capability of right around 50 amps. I think it's got three 10 amp, and I mean, I'm be wrong, I don't know, it might be 4 30 amp and a couple 15 amps, whatever. So 300 amps is way over fused for this. So if anything happened to this, that fuse will not pop. Now Diode Dynamics adds, I don't know if we can even see it in there, there's a fuse that sits right underneath here with their stuff that will fuse this. So you're fusing from here to here. And then your winch, I usually put a 100 amp or 150 amp fuse in line with my winch, because I want to fuse between here and in that point. I said, always remember, you fuse as close as you can to the power source, not at the use device. You want to fuse the entire cable is what it amounts to. So that's about it. I hope this helped you guys out. If you have any questions, you can just, reply back to me or whatever. I have no problems answering any questions you might have. Just be safe. Use the right size gauge wire. Use the right size fuses, and just, ask the community. There's plenty of people out here that have enough knowledge, that have done this enough times, that it's better to be safe. So thanks, I appreciate it.